With the introduction of draft legal triathlon to ITU age group races, you may be starting to consider your bike setup options. And that might include these short clip-on aero bars. Now we see the elites using them, but why? Especially as it's draft legal racing. Well, before you go racing ahead and copy the elites, it's worth noting that the short clip-on bars aren't currently allowed for all draft legal age group races. That said, it has only just been introduced to the ITU age group ranks, so it may well be introduced with time. That aside, it's still a really interesting bike setup option, so we thought we'd try them out today to see why they're used, and you never know, you may actually like these shorter bars for your non-drafting races too. So today we are using the Impel TT bars from Controltech. And as you can see, you barely notice them on the bike until you actually need them. And they're really lightweight, weighing in at just 276 grams. Now, for draft legal racing, the bars can't extend beyond the brake levers, and that's mostly for safety, so you can still grab the brakes quickly whilst you're riding in a group. Well, we know that air resistance is the cause of most of the drag we experience on the bike. In particular, it's our body that causes the biggest drag, so adjusting our body position can improve our aerodynamics. And whilst it's draft legal racing, there are still times when an athlete could find themselves needing to use these bars. For instance, if you're riding alone and want to bridge a gap to the group ahead of you. But the question is, are they really that much faster than being on the drops? So how are we going to do this? Well, firstly, it's worth noting that this isn't going to be perfectly scientific, but it will give us plenty of food for thought and a good idea of the differences. To the side of me, I have an undulating but straight 3.5 kilometer section of road. I'm going to do 2 runs at 250 watts, one on the drops and then one on the aero bars. Then to broaden the results, I'm going to do another 2 runs at 350 watts. Again, one on the drops and then one on the aero bars. And for all the runs, I'm going to record my time and my average speed that the power gives me, and then we'll compare the results. Run 1, 250 watts on the drops. Let's go. Okay, next run at 250 watts on the short clip-on aero bars. Let's go. Right, ramping this up a bit now, 350 watts on the drops. Last run, 350 watts on the aero bars. Here we go. That's all the runs complete, so it's time to look at the results. And the first run, 250 watts on the drops, was 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And then 250 watts on the aero bars was 5 minutes and 24 seconds. And then 350 watts on the drops was 4 minutes and 58 seconds. And then 350 watts in the aero bars was 4 minutes and 41 seconds. It's not a total surprise, because when I was on the aero bars, I was able to reduce my frontal area, therefore making me more aerodynamic. That's all very well, but are they always suitable? And that is why they're not currently allowed for all the age group draft legal events. You need to be able to react quickly when you're in a group, so having your fingers resting over the brakes is much safer. But that said, when they're used at the right time, they can definitely be beneficial. And another thing to consider is comfort. Leaning forward onto the aero bars can feel a little unusual with a standard road bike setup, and it's not really worth changing your saddle position for the short stints that you're going to use the aero bars. So it really does just come down to confidence and a bit of experience using them. Well, that's given us some food for thought and shown the benefits of using these clip-on aero bars. And even if you're not doing draft legal racing, maybe these short bars appeal to you for the non-drafting races too. And you can see more videos from us by clicking on the globe and subscribing to GTN. And to see our draft legal triathlon explainer video, just click down here. And to see our TT versus road bike on the climb video, just click down here.